Welcome to Drew and Free. I'm Drew.
And I'm Free. And today we are talking about, are we putting too much pressure on our kids?
How many guys out there have heard that from, your significant other or, your girlfriend or your child's mother or, your wife? Have you heard that before?
You know, pressure can just come in so many different forms for kids. And, now when you're asking a 10-year-old what he wants to be when he grows up, you've really got to start thinking about what steps you have to take really early to make those things happen. Advanced classes in school, different trainings, the pressures of advanced classes, what path that child would have to take.
I don't understand why you have to put that much pressure on the child anyway. I didn't do AP classes. I wasn't on the honor roll. I would like to consider myself a fairly intelligent, middle-aged man. So I didn't know what I wanted to do through high school. I had an idea and, I toiled with thoughts, but it wasn't like, ooh, I'm going to be, some people, shout out to my man, Sean Fuss, class 1994, Bloomfield High, holla at your boy. No, listen, man, Sean Fuss was the only guy I knew who said in high school he was going to be a biologist.
Mm-hmm.
It's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And last I asked and heard about him, he had become a biologist.
Okay.
Like, that's what he did.
Right.
So kudos to that, because I didn't know.
Well, that's a real reality with kids. If you say you want to be a doctor, for example, you've got to master your math, your science. You've got to take those AP classes. If you want to be a lawyer, you've got to, master certain techniques and classes and networks and all the things, get accepted to the right schools, take the standardized tests. You've got quite the journey. But the challenging part about it is kids go through that when they're really young, and they may get to these places as adults and they may not be happy. And then they may have developed some social and emotional things, all because that they were fast tracked on this option early on.
When you were in school, right, you were asked to do well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was a requirement, right, that, you had to do well in school.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right? I would assume that helped you, that benefited you in your mindset and the way that you tackle some, whatever challenges you face. But, and I know the answer to this, so I'm struggling to ask the question, but back in the day, did children of our year and earlier, did they feel the same way about the pressure? Or it was just like, this is just what my parents expect? Versus now, the feeling is, oh my God, I have so much on my plate. They're doing so much to me.
Well, I mean, middle school is the new high school. High school is the new college. College is the new, they're doing research and all the things that they would be doing outside of college when they're done. So everything is elevated. And the world is elevated with expectations in order to keep up with competition all over. So I don't think back in the day, the kids had as much pressure mentally. But I also think that there's more opportunity available for them now to think about, as there was not the same opportunities and options before. Things are more accessible now.
I think for the technology we had, you could even say the demand was greater, right? We had a Encyclopedia Britannica series on our shelves.
Did you read it?
Yeah, I dabbled. I dabbled.
Okay.
Yeah, I dabbled, right? So that was your mechanism for learning. Now you just hit a couple of keystrokes, ta-da, pop, pop, pow, and Google will spit it out for you. What are we really demanding?
There is a learning path for whatever it is kids want to do, and they have to decide pretty early. Like if you want to become certain things in life, in the career world, like I mentioned, doctors, lawyers, scientists, some specialized careers, you have to start the path young.
I think that we should be giving the youth different paths young, right? So those aren't the only right opportunities that there are, right? That's what we've been pitched to. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a nurse, but they don't tell you about all of these other avenues that there are of potentially doing well. They don't pitch it to you. Why? Why do they keep it a secret? So I'm
I
not
think that's changing though. I mean, I think it's changing because of social media. And now people that are successful doing other things, are showing up and sharing. And people now know that there's more options to success. Whereas before, people only knew of those types of careers.
well, that is society's responsibility, right? Is to provide our youth with these different opportunities and to make it accessible.
You know what? I think this is the first time, our family has kind of taken a breather where our kids have not been in so many activities at once. I mean, they're still doing some things, but the calendar hasn't just been full for everybody. And I think we feel the pressures as parents to put the kids in just so many different things to try and follow what society has pitched as paths for success in raising your kids. But just saying no and doing nothing and having everybody relax, there's been some value in that I can appreciate.
I, mm,
You understand? I
yes.
told you so.
Listen, I'm not gonna, I'm going, Kamala shout out. Um, I would say that instead of thinking about us putting all the pressure on the children, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to make sure that our kids have the most and the best. And I think in turn, in putting that pressure on us, that pressure feeds down to the children.
And it's like, what's the payoff, right? Like if your kid knows how to do this certain dance class or play this instrument or, whatever it is, soccer, and then they maybe best case scenario get scholarships in college. Well, after that part of life is done, like what did all of that pressure create
Exactly
in
why.
that person?
That's exactly why you have to meet the children where they are.
Man, crazy.
So let us know your thoughts. All right. We shared a little bit about what we're thinking, but what are you thinking? Do you think we're hard on the children?
Yeah. Are the kids experiencing too much pressure to figure it out too soon?
Hey, for those that have children who, have moved out and you're solo nesters, right? When you look back on your parenting, do you feel like you put too much pressure on your kids? Let us know. Stream free. Real conversations, real life. It's just us.